What's up, guys? Really excited to share with you that today on the channel we are going to be posting our first podcast, and we've got a really exciting topic for you. Most of you don't know what hybrid training is, so today we've got a real hybrid athlete coming on the show to start our podcast, and we're going to be discussing a lot of fun stuff that's going to be super helpful for you. Really excited for this. Let's go and find out what he has to say.
Awesome. Hey guys, welcome to the podcast. And today we've got something really exciting for you. We have our guest Zeeshan here with us. And let me give you a little bit of a background. So, Zeeshan has been a national level cyclist. He has represented the state in many national level events. And now he has switched over and become a hybrid athlete doing triathlons, marathons is his goal, and he's already just recently completed a half marathon, and he's going to go for a full marathon very soon. So let's go. We're going to talk to Zeeshan more about this stuff now. So hey Zeeshan, welcome on the show.
Hello,
And
hello.
today's our first podcast. So we want to get some insights about your journey, how it's been being an athlete and transitioning into becoming a hybrid athlete now, and what it would be for someone who wants to be like you. So let's start off with something very basic. Can you give us a little bit of information about your background and your days when you were a professional cyclist? Let's start with that.
So I started competing professionally around 2019 is when I started cycling, and then I went on for my first nationals at around 2020. So since then, I've been consistently showing up for my state at the national level. So I think my training that time was like very different. It was purely cycling specific. So I would be clocking like on an average 500 kilometers a week.
Wow.
Yeah, so that would be like 15 to 16 hours. So that was what I was doing in order to be at the level that I was at. My routine used to look like I would wake up in the morning at 5, head out at 6 o'clock, do a 3 hour ride, 100K. I used to train 5 days a week.
100 kilometers
Yeah,
in a
100 kilometers
stretch
at a
every
stretch
day.
every day.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Then come back, and then on an average, I was burning, say, 2,600, 3,000 calories. So I also had to make up for that. My diet was also mainly like carbohydrate rich at that point of time. So I used to have a lot of rice, rotis, stuff like that. And then, so basically, that was my routine. Then when I transitioned to like hybrid athlete, so I decided that, okay, I want to stop competing because I wanted more from life in general. Like, so based on what I have seen, at least like in India, for someone to be like a pro athlete, you need to give up a lot of other things in your life. Like for me, like hanging out with my boys is like important, like going out with friends is important. I want to live a little. And if I am competing, it would be very hard for me to do that. Like I can't go out late nights, I have that strict sleep schedule, I can't eat whatever I want. I decided that I wanted more from life. I just wanted to have like a healthy lifestyle. I mean, yeah, I loved what I did with cycling and everything, but I think I just wanted more. So that prompted me to shift to hybrid style of training because I have no pressure of performing at my best. I just wanted to do whatever I want to do. For example, like for some people, like running a half marathon or full marathon is like very daunting. I just want to be that person who just, okay, I want to set my mind to it. I just want to do it. I don't care if I do it in 6 hours. I don't care if I do it in 3 hours. And when it comes to lifting, I think I was very skinny. Like a cyclist build is like super skinny, right? So that's the average physique that a cyclist would have.
Yeah, that's something actually I wanted to ask you. So let's go back to your cycling days. So, what actually motivated you to get into cycling, and how did you become a professional national level cyclist? What's the
Okay.
story behind that?
So I think ever since like I was a kid, I've always been somewhat of an overachiever. Think things at home and everything. I was not that great at academics, so I just wanted to be like really good at something, right? So I started off by commuting on my cycle, and I used to post that on my Instagram. Like, okay, if I'm going from Kamnalli to Indranagar, that would be my long distance at that time.
Yeah.
So I'd post that like, okay, I went to Indranagar today on my bike, and people would be like, "Oh, dude, damn! Like, how did you manage to cycle so much?" I think that I got a little bit of an ego boost that time. I was like, "Okay, I want to do more now." So that's when I started increasing the distance. And I was like, okay, maybe I can compete. Maybe I can show up for a race. So I signed up for my first race. It's called BBCH. So they conduct local races in Bangalore. I showed up. I think the first kilometer I just sprinted. I didn't know how to pace, nothing, right? So I noticed myself overtaking everyone. I was like, nice. But that lasted only for 1 kilometer because after that, everyone just like zooped past me and I finished like horribly last in my
Oh,
category. So that's when I realized, okay, I gotta like train for it and like I gotta wake up in the morning. Because before that, I used to be that guy who used to wake up at 11 in the morning and no structure to life. I think cycling changed that for me because I wanted to do it for myself, right? So I willingly woke up at 5. I stepped out of my house at 6, completed my ride. Like, okay, I'd go till airport and back. And I was training. And also at the same time, I was managing my college and everything. So that is how I got into cycling.
wow. So you did it for around 4 years, right? And what was your training like once you took cycling a little seriously? What were you doing? Like you said, you had some strength sessions and stuff. That was something that you did by yourself, or you had a coach? How exactly did that happen?
So I did have a coach. So in cycling, it's very science-based training that you do. You don't just end up riding like a certain amount of kilometers. So it's like during the ride in itself, you have a workout. For example, we used to train based on heart rate and power. So power is basically the force you produce on the pedal, and that is shown in like watts on your cycle computer. So you do like a max effort. So you, let's say for example, for me, I could hold around 260 watts for an hour. Okay, example. So then you would have zones like zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, zone 4, and you would train according to those zones. So it will be very like in a structured, systematic way, and of course science based, where you are training in that particular zone, progressing in that zone, so that overall you become a better cyclist. So that helps you on race day. For example, you have like a zone 2 ride
Are
for
you
3.
talking about like zone 1 cardio, zone 2 cardio,
Yeah, so those
or
are heart rate zones. So heart
okay?
rate zones, there are 5, right? Zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, zone 4, zone 5.
So can you just like give us a little bit of insight on what zone 1, zone 2 would be? Because I'm sure like a lot of people are keen to know about it. They've heard about it. But what exactly, how would you know whether you're in zone 1, zone 2, zone 3?
Okay. So when it comes to heart rate, it's very subjective to everyone. Like no two people will have the same zones. So how do you measure your zones or how do you calculate your zones is, for example, let's say you sprint for like 1 kilometer straight and you record your max heart rate. And from that max heart rate, you just upload it to a zone calculator that you find on internet. So usually zone 2 is like 60 to 70% of your max heart rate. Then zone 3 is around 70 to 80% and so on. So based on that, it taps into different energy systems in your body. So zone 2 training, at least for endurance athletes, is like very important because that is when you teach your body to utilize fat efficiently for fuel. And anything above zone 2, you start utilizing carbs.
Yeah.
So the longer you spend in zone 2, the wider you build your aerobic base. So think of it like a pyramid, right? So zone 2 sets the foundation, and the bigger the base, the higher the peak.
Yeah.
So for majority of the season, people would be training in zone 2, widening that base, and the closer you get to your goal race, they would start having intervals in between, tempo, threshold, and that way you peak at the right time. So it's not like you're going hard at every ride. You train smart. You train hard, but you train smart. So that's the
Yeah.
thing with zones.
Yeah, that makes sense. So now you were also saying that, being in cycling, you felt like you were skinny. So when did this realization set in and what did you do about it?
Okay, so I think this started setting, say, around towards the end of 2024. That is when I started to feel like I wouldn't say I started losing interest in cycling, but consistently going up, performing, and not getting that much in return from the sport itself, I started feeling like, okay, like, because obviously anything at the elite level, it's not technically healthy. Like, even if you see like the elite marathoners, they're super skinny, they have absolutely no muscle on them.
Yeah.
They might be really fit for that sport,
Yeah.
but in terms of general lifestyle, they're not fit. So that's when it started to hit me. I'm like, okay, because I don't see myself doing cycling like for the rest of my life. Like I said, right? So I wanted more from life. I wanted to feel better. I wanted to have like, I want to be fit enough to do daily chores, to look good, and in general just feel good about myself. So that is when it started hitting me. I'm like, the cyclist build is not going to really make me functionally fit. I might be really good at cycling, but like let's say I cross 40, like 40 is usually when most people stop competing, and after 40, then what?
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't, and that time after 30 is really hard to build muscle as well, right?
Yeah.
So that is when I started thinking like, okay, maybe I want to start lifting now. Maybe I want to put on muscle.
Yeah.
And not exactly like even the bodybuilding style of training, but more strength based.
Yeah.
So, sticking to your compounds like your deadlifts, your pull ups, squats, bench, etc. Stuff like that. So that is when it started to like hit me like, okay, I wanna become a little more healthy in terms of general life. Like functionally, I wanna become more fit.
Did someone influence you, or is that something that you saw on the internet and felt like you have to do weight training? What exactly motivated you? Because that's something that not a lot of athletes think about. So what was your motivation to, branch out into different styles of training other than just the fact that, hey, I'm skinny? Was there something else that motivated you, like a person or some guide for it?
I think so. Velo Studio is like a bicycle store in Indranagar that was supporting me while I was cycling, and I think they helped influence this mindset for me. Because when I started to tell them that, okay, like I don't see myself competing like anymore, as in like for the rest of my life, and they were the ones who told me like, like after a certain point you should know when to start. What do you say? Going into other streams of life, like, I think they were the ones who influenced that mindset that, okay, hey, maybe try out different things, maybe, maybe start lifting weights, or maybe do other sports, do
Nice.
everything for the fun of it. Like, you have competed professionally, you have done what you had to did. If you feel like you want more, so start focusing on academics now. Start, because at that time I was a sports scholarship student. I never really went to college.
Okay.
My day was just cycling and sleep. That's it, nothing else. So now the fact that I can do all these other things, so that's when they told me like, don't stick to only cycling. Maybe start doing like other stuff as well.
Hmm.
So that is why I decided to like, okay, I want to start weight training.
Okay, awesome. So, before we move on to your journey of weight training, what would be one message that you have for people who are professional cyclists or professional athletes, right? Since you yourself have transitioned from that, what would be one piece of advice that you would give to young budding athletes or cyclists?
I think to cyclists, at least in India, I would say if you have a chance to go outside and race, I think you should take that chance. But I would say in India, like with compared with terms of support, the infrastructure and everything, it's really not worth risking your life out on like Bangalore highway for some, because the fitness level, like the gap between us and the people outside is like a lot. So I think I would say that don't be too hard on yourself. Like if you're not able to do what you want to do, instead I would say like chase probably fulfillment. Like just be happy that I'm able to do it,
Yeah,
because not everyone gets that chance.
yeah. And what's the maximum number of kilometers that you have covered in one day?
I have done 210.
210
Yeah,
in one day.
in one day.
Where did you go?
So I went to Mysore and
You
yeah,
went to
I
Mysore
went
and
to
you came
Mysore.
back
Yeah.
on the same day.
Yeah, I mean, I came back halfway and I was like, yeah, I'm kind of done. So I had a cart following
Wow.
me and everything.
Oh my god. Okay, that is amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great. Awesome. So let's move on to your journey of weight training. So how exactly did it start? Now I know you felt like you needed some changes, you had to level up. So how did the entire journey start? What did you start with and how did you progress there?
So I did take help of few of my friends who, so basically when I was cycling, so I used to do little complementary weight training sessions, right? So I used to go to Peak Performance. So they're like these proper
Yeah,
physiotherapists.
sports therapist,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
So basically, what they used to do with me in terms of like lower body, I started to apply the same principle for my upper body work. So because that was what was lacking. My lower body was like pretty decent, like it was pretty well built and everything, but I had to focus on my upper body. So what I started to do is I started like researching a lot, like what's the rep range for hypertrophy, for strength, for muscle building. So I decided that I want to stick to strength because that was my primary focus. Like I don't want to look too big.
Yeah.
I want to look like an athlete. I still want to look like an athlete, but a really good looking athlete.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I decided to stick to, I didn't want to complicate it too much. I didn't want to do 2 hours of gym. I want to keep it short and crisp, and I want to do more quality work than just endlessly spamming reps.
Yeah.
So I decided to stick to like that 6 to 8 rep range, go to failure almost every other set. And in cycling, so we used to have this deload weeks, right? Like after every 3 or 4 weeks of training, you take like 1 week where you like cut down on your mileage. Same principle I tried to apply on the weight training. So and whenever I felt like okay, like I'm maxing out, I take a little break, like I do maintenance for 1 week, and then I try hitting PR the week after that. So that way I kept progressing because I think when I started weight training, I used to do like body weight dips for like 3 reps and I was done.
What was your split like when you started weight training? Like, of course, you were going to Peak Performance, you were doing sports specific training there, mainly for lower body. So, when you transitioned, what was your split like?
I started off on push pull legs. That was like the most, at least on internet, that's what I saw. So push pull legs, and then I stuck to it for like a good 8 9 months, and I actually saw like a really good progress for that as well.
Nice. Awesome. So, you started off with weight training, right? Now, what, according to you, is the definition of a hybrid athlete? These days, this word is very trending. You see a lot of gyms, including mine as well, right? We call my gym RFit a hybrid gym. But what, according to you, is hybrid training? So, people also have like a clear idea about it. I think it's very important that people understand what hybrid training is or what a hybrid gym is supposed to be like. So, what, according to you, is hybrid training?
So I mean, in my opinion, hybrid training is, in simple words, like jack of all, master of none. So if some for anyone who's chasing overall functionality, overall fitness, like you want to have like really good cardiovascular fitness at the same time having looking good, looking big. I think that is what I would call as hybrid training because someone who can do it all, and of course you're not chasing that first position in a marathon. You're not chasing to lift the heaviest weight in the gym. You want to be able to balance both. You're a mix of both. You can do both if you want to. So it's like you are giving yourself that freedom to do what you want in terms of fitness. Like for me, I could, when I started running also, like within like 2 kilometers I was gassed out. So I started building on both simultaneously, and now I can like run like a half marathon like a little peacefully, and at
Yeah.
the same time I'm able to do like 60 kilo dips on
Yes.
the bars. So I'm like,
Amazing.
if I can do it, I'm
Yeah.
sure everyone else can do it because people have this misconception that if I run a lot, like I should not be lifting weights. So which is why you see, I mean, I don't mean to hate on anyone,
Yeah.
but runners who are like super skinny,
Yeah.
or you have bodybuilders who can't run for like a kilometer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Exactly.
that needs to change. Like unless
Yes.
you're competing,
Yeah.
like you don't need to be doing that sort of a training, like unless you're on stage
Yeah.
as a bodybuilder.
Yes.
If you never have an aspiration to be on stage, I think everyone should also include running in their life, or cycling or swimming or whatever, any
Yes.
any sport that gives them a good cardiovascular workout.
Yeah.
At the same time, runners who do not plan on running like the world big marathons,
Yeah.
people should also focus on like the lifting side of things, because in the end muscle also determines longevity, right? The good amount of muscle you have, the better your life is.
Yeah.
So I
Exactly.
think that is what is like hybrid training for me.
Yeah, and it's also the fact that if they don't really enjoy, say, weight training, they could always do stuff like calisthenics.
Yeah.
They could do stuff like CrossFit or Olympic lifting, right? Whatever they find fun. So, but you started off with weight training, right? But these days, I see you doing a lot of different stuff. I see you doing calisthenics. I see you doing a lot of cardiovascular stuff, some functional training. So, how did you branch out? Because, see, most people start off with just weight training. So, what made you branch out into different forms of training?
I think with me, I just wanted a mix of everything. So, like, let's say if I'm bored of one thing, I can always switch it up, and it's not going to be, I'm not going to feel like shit at it. For example, if I was only doing weight training and then, okay, I decide, like, today I don't feel like it, I want to try calisthenics. People, what usually ends up happening is they try it out for like the first few moments and they don't get it and they just go back to weight training again,
Yeah,
because nobody is willing to get out of that comfort zone. Okay, I'm not good at it,
yeah,
especially if you're good at weightlifting.
yes,
And if you're not that great at calisthenics, you're
yeah,
not gonna want to do it. So
yeah,
if I have like a mix of everything,
yes,
I can branch out to whatever I want to do, right? So it's like, it's
yeah.
fun. It's like that's one part of my life where I have full control over.
Yeah. It's like, like people find it easy to lift a dumbbell, swing their body weight and all of that. But just because they find it tough to do a pull up, they're not even willing to do the progressions
Exactly.
that will help them unlock that first pull up or muscle up. Right. So I totally agree with that. And so, what made you get out of your comfort zone and start doing calisthenics? Was like there's some influence, or you just found out about it on Instagram? How exactly did you know about calisthenics and start doing it?
I think to answer the first question, when you told that get out of your comfort zone, for me that has like a little more deeper meaning, because like I said, so when it comes to lifting weights or running or whatever, when your body tires out, right, it's your mind that basically asks you to push. So this in fitness this is the only place where I can actually test that compared to other aspects of my life. If I'm able to push myself here, push myself out of my comfort zone here, if I'm comfortable with being uncomfortable, I can do it everywhere else. So that way I feel much more confident in the outside world as well, because this is like one bubble where I can experiment, I can fail, I can get up again. Nobody's going to judge me. Whereas outside, the stakes are a little more high. So that is why I like doing things that are uncomfortable. That's why I like a mix of everything. And what was the second?
Calisthenics. So, what exactly motivated you to do calisthenics? How did you find out about it? Because I know that still in India, people are finding out about calisthenics, or they're very uncomfortable doing it. They find it's too tough or strenuous, or they get intimidated looking at people doing muscle ups or weighted pull ups and stuff. So, what was it for you, and how do you think other people can get comfortable with doing calisthenics as well?
I think with calisthenics, because everyone found it intimidating, it looks nice and everything. That's solely the reason why I wanted to do it. Because I was like, okay, doing stuff on the rings, or just controlling your own body weight, it feels nice. And the fact that other people are intimidated by it, I sound a little cocky right now,
Yeah.
but like the fact that I'm able to do it, it
Yeah.
feels nice.
It's a challenge
It's a
also, right?
challenge, right? So
Yeah.
like it's nice that I am able to do it, and other people look up, okay, do it, like, damn, how is he able to do it? And if someone wants to do it, say, it's actually pretty simple. Like, you just start off with like your basic holds, like the L sits, or like just do pull-ups on the rings or dips on the rings. Like, the first day will feel uncomfortable, be it anything, be it weightlifting, be it running, cycling, anything. The first couple of weeks will be hard, but it's only once you get past that, you start noticing that, okay, hey, I'm able to do it a little better. Your body adapts, your body
Yeah.
becomes efficient at it. So anything you do, you need to give yourself some amount of time to start seeing some good result.
Yeah. Even if your fitness levels are low, I mean, they can always start with like a dead hang. They can start with, a row and many other things that are much easier, like a scapula pull. If they want to do a push up, they can start with like a push up plank, right? So I think that it's just choosing these regressions and focusing on progressing step by step, giving, like you said, giving yourself that extra time is what makes it more comfortable, right?
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. And going forward, one thing that I want to ask, like you're a proper hybrid athlete. Like a lot of people are still trying to achieve stuff that you do already. So what's your current training split like as a hybrid athlete?
Okay, so my next goal event is the Tata Full Marathon. So I keep switching, I keep having phases during the year. So I give myself, say, 2 to 3 events that I want to do. It could, so I had 10K this year, a half marathon, and a full marathon. So now, since I'm prepping for the full marathon, I want to give my little more training for my endurance capabilities. So right now, Mondays I rest. I have 2 rest days a week, compulsory. On Tuesdays is basically I have my first run of the week. It could be an easy run or a run with some intervals. And in the evening, I do weight training. So I do chest and back. So I switch it up from push pull legs to chest and back, legs and arms. So Tuesday is a run plus chest and back. Then Wednesday I do plan on incorporating swimming as
How
well.
many kilometers do you run?
So on an average, for a weekday, I think about 8 to 9 kilometers.
And that is before your weight training session, or it's at different times of the day?
So the morning I would finish my run, and the evening I come and do my weight training
So you
session.
have enough time to rest up
Yeah,
before
at
the
least
weight
five
training
hours.
session.
At least
Okay,
5 hours.
got it.
And then Wednesday would be swimming and legs. So I swim in the morning, legs in the evening. Then Thursday I have an easy run, like a recovery run, so body can just chill. Friday is rest. Then my weekends is pretty hectic, so I usually have a long run on Saturday. So that can be anywhere from 15 to 35 kilometers.
Wow.
Yeah. At least
15 to 35 kilometers.
yeah, according to my plan, around November I'll be doing like weeks where I'm doing 35-kilometer at a single stretch. And on Sundays I do my bike ride because I love cycling. I do not want to stop that.
So you don't compromise on
I
it.
don't
Yeah, you
compromise
still
on that.
do it.
It's like more than training specific. It's more like it makes me feel good, because after a point, training also does get to you, right? Like you start feeling demotivated, start feeling that mental fatigue. So having that 1 day or 2 days in a week where you get to do something that you actually enjoy and which is also a sport, it's nice. It feels nice. So it keeps you going as well, because it's not about how much you do, it's about how much you can do for a consistent amount of time. So that is more important in any sport. Like anyone can go and like be regular for like 1 week straight at the gym, but you need to do it again and again and again and again to see, to to be successful. Like that, I think that separates like people who are like good versus people who are like mediocre.
Yeah, that makes sense. So then how many weight training sessions are you doing in a week?
Three.
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 And that's enough for you to pack on this much muscle, which is
As
pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I think more than weight training, what helped me a lot was eating.
Okay.
So initially, I did start off tracking my food and everything. So when I first started weight training, because I didn't know how much when I was cycling, I didn't know how much I was eating. I was only like involved in the workouts. But ever since I stopped cycling, I realized I'm not burning as much calories. So, like I said, I used to burn like 3,000 calories, right?
Yeah, man.
So I anyway ended up eating a lot. But when I transitioned to weight training, you're hardly burning like say 400 calories, right? So I realized that I didn't want to become fat, because if I continued eating 3,000 calories and if I'm burning only like say 500, I'm actually like way too much on a surplus.
Yeah.
That's when I started tracking. I started getting an idea of how much
And you
food.
didn't want to be like a bodybuilder kind of
Yeah.
person with the invisible lad syndrome and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to be an athlete. Yeah, always flexible
Yeah.
and all of that. Too big is a little too big is not
Yeah,
not
I
for
mean,
me.
people don't enjoy it that much these days. Of course, there are people that do, but I think a major chunk of people just want to feel good about themselves, look fit, look good without a t-shirt on,
Yeah.
and of course, not have chicken legs.
Yeah.
So that is definitely the goal. And what else was it? Because see, I know that a lot of people usually end up being that way. For example, like you said, marathoners or cyclists might feel skinny, and bodybuilders might end up eating in a surplus, have a lot of inflammation. So what exactly was the nutrition plan you followed to maintain a physique like you have right now?
So I would say on a rough estimate, I used to be, or I've always been on a surplus, but say about 200 to 300 calories at max. So an occasional donut every once in a while, or because I wanted to, like I said, right, I'm not competing anymore. I wanted to enjoy life. So I wanted to eat what I want to eat as well. So I followed this rule of eating 80% clean and 20% whatever I want to have, like an ice cream, donut, or anything that is junk. So I start off with that, and I start seeing that okay, my lifts, I'm progressing, I'm lifting heavier as and when the months progress. I'm also able to see progress with my running. It wasn't as fast as I'd have liked if I was doing only one thing, but again, that's the trade-off, right? So with hybrid training, it's a trade-off that okay, you're not going to progress as fast as you'd like on one thing, but that's also why it's really good, because again, if you're not competing, if you want a functional physique, or you want in general, like you want to feel good, I think that's the style of training that everyone should go for, because hybrid is just like a term,
Yeah.
because it's just a term that's come up recently.
Yes.
I think anyone who does a lot of fitness activities in general is a hybrid athlete,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah. So how many meals are you having every day now?
I have about 6 small meals.
Okay. And what do they look like? Like starting from your breakfast, lunch, how is it, split up?
So I start off my day with good protein. My breakfast is the heaviest meal of my day, because obviously I've not eaten anything for like 8 9 hours. So I start off with 5 eggs, a bowl of muesli, and any fruit juice. So that is what I start my breakfast with, and then at around, so I usually wake up by 5, right? So around 6:30 is when I have my breakfast. So, and then I have one more meal at around say 10:15, 10:45, where I have like a bowl of fruits. It's a mixture of different fruits every other day. And then I have my lunch. Lunch is usually again mix of protein and carbs, which is again the second heaviest meal of my day. Then I have like a light snack, maybe
Do you weigh your food or
no,
okay?
no. I just rough estimate it. I don't need too much. I don't need too less. So
But
I
how
don't
is the
eat.
proportion like? You're saying you're having like carbs and protein. What's the proportion? Like you're having like this much of rice, this much of chicken.
For
What's
me,
it
it's
like?
like 50-50, like
Okay.
50% carb, 50% protein, and a little bit of fiber.
Like what?
For example, like say lunch, I'll have three rotis with, let's say, lady's finger. And along with that, I probably have either an omelette or maybe like a chicken piece. So it's like a mix. So I keep it, because I obviously, since I also run, I need carbs is like my main source of energy. Even for lifting, like if your protein is like just a rebuilding sort of a thing, but carbs is what fuels your workouts,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So because of that, I keep it 50% carbs, 50% protein.
Okay.
And then snack time is when I usually end up having something that I like. It could
Mhm.
be an ice cream, it could be some cream bun or something. Not every day, of course,
Yeah.
but yeah,
So basically, you can have something like that
yeah,
as well, as long as you're putting in enough work through the day.
yeah,
Like you made sure you went for a run, you made sure you did your weight training session 3 times a week, and you could still have that ice cream or that cream bun guilt free,
yeah.
right? That's what people need to know, right? They think that, when people are fit, they give up on their whole life, they don't eat what they want, but it's all about that balance.
Balance.
And I think that's what you hit
Yeah.
right in the spot. So after that, what would you have?
After that would be straight up dinner. So dinner I keep it pretty light, mainly carbs, and probably if I feel like I've hit my protein goal of the day, I don't have a protein shake, but only if if I feel that okay, I have missed a little bit of protein, is when I have a shake and I sleep.
Yeah, I think, but people should definitely keep in mind that Zeeshan is a professional athlete and he works out like crazy. He runs a lot, so he can get away with carbs. But I don't think everyone will be able to get away with it the same way as you do. So unless you are working out like him, hustling through the week, you probably might have to cut down on your carbs if you want to look like him. That is something that is the biggest advantage of taking your workouts to another level, is you can eat what you
Yeah,
want, right?
yeah, I think I 100% agree with that, because I'm able to I do a lot. I don't feel that okay, I'm eating too bad
Yeah.
because I do a lot. Yeah, I want to eat. I want to be able to eat what I eat.
How about your rest and recovery? What do you do for rest and recovery throughout the week? Is there anything that you follow? How many hours do you sleep?
So I would say the most priority that I give to is my sleep, because no amount of ice baths or recovery shakes or whatever is gonna fix a bad sleep. So 8 hours is like a minimum for me, which is why like for me it's like 9:30, 10 lights off. Like I don't stay up after that. At least I try my best not to. So because I felt the biggest difference in my recovery once I started hitting my sleep goals, even if let's say I missed my protein shake, or let's say I missed a little bit of nutrition here and there, but a bad sleep is always I've always felt the effect of a bad sleep the next day. I've felt groggy, I felt tired, I felt I've not recovered enough.
You're
So I
not able
think
to perform the
I'm
same
unable to
way.
perform the same. And a lot of factors, right? Because you don't sleep well, your cognitive functions are bad, your mind starts fogging up, you're not able to push yourself. Because you're not able to push yourself mentally, you physically can't push yourself, because this, like, usually the mind is what drives intent, right?
Yeah.
So for me sleep is like non-negotiable. Apart from sleep, I do take a little bit of supplements. I usually have the magnesium supplement. So I've researched about it, research as in like Google.
Yes.
Seen that okay, it has helped people, it promotes good sleep.
Yes. Any other supplements that you use for recovery?
Apart from magnesium, no. Like the only supplements that I take is whey protein, creatine, magnesium.
So
That's it.
yeah, creatine is definitely a very good supplement for any kind of recovery. So I think that any athlete, any person that's doing weight training, calisthenics, any form of hybrid training, definitely should consider whey protein and creatine,
Yeah.
especially if their diet isn't up to the mark, which is one of the most common problems in India.
Hmm.
If you notice, in India, actually nutrition is where we take a backseat, is because everyone's parents will have their own
Oh
kinds
yeah.
of nutrition plans, and in case anyone tries to have a high protein diet or get into a healthier state, there's that common reply from the parents, right? Who came first? We were fine, we are strong enough, so why do you want to make a change, right? So, did you have any such issues, or was your family always supportive with your nutrition?
I think initially, yes, I had the same reaction that you just told, that okay, we are fine, look at us. And I mean, see, if you're thinking like most of our parents, they would be aged like say around 50s.
Yeah.
At least my parents are 50s, and they're doing great, thanks to God. If you see protein in India, it's like people look down on
Yeah.
having a high protein diet, and they do not realize the importance of it in terms of the long run. They People think that okay, if I have protein automatically equals big blocky muscles or kidney damage or
Yeah.
etc. But if you actually sit and research about it, protein is actually one of, if not the most important macronutrient that our
Yes.
body needs. So initially at home, yeah, my parents were like, yeah, no protein and all of that. But once they started seeing me perform well, once they started seeing me become more healthier, that is when they started supporting me in terms of nutrition as well. And I do not rely heavily on supplements. I think this for people, because also parents also have this thing against protein powders, right? They're like,
Yeah.
okay, these powders will come, they'll mess up your kidney.
Yes.
That can also be tackled through a good diet, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
You're right. And yeah, that does make a lot of sense. I think whole foods are always the best form of protein, and the reason they are called supplements is because people who are unable to meet
Yeah.
their requirements through whole foods, right? Like you said, in vegetarian, vegan, non-vegetarian options, you have multiple protein options that you can have. But for example, you're a picky eater, or you find it too difficult because you're busy all the time. That's why you have, supplements. And of course, supplements like whey protein and creatine are the most studied
Yeah.
supplements out there right now. And there is clear proof that unless you have an existing kidney issue, it is completely safe and does not cause any kidney problems. So we are so lucky that now we are in a time where there's so much research,
Yeah.
right, that gives us clear science and understanding behind supplements. Of course, but there is one tricky challenge in India. It's the fact that a lot of these shady vendors,
Hmm.
might repackage protein boxes and sell it to people with fake protein inside. And that's why it's so important to buy your supplements from the company itself. Like, for example, Optimum Nutrition and My Protein, Muscle Blaze, Avatar, they all sell their own protein from their website, but people would see, say, 1,000 rupees or 2,000 rupees lesser on health card, or any other fitness store near their house, and end up purchasing it without realizing that it could be fake. So I think it's very important that they verify their source. And yeah, of course, a combination of nutrition, supplementation, and rest and recovery is what makes you so good, right? Is there any other form of recovery that you would suggest, or you say that sleep is the best? Is there something that you do?
Another thing that I do is stretching, because that is again one more important part. You need to get the blood flowing to those muscles, right? So when you stretch and when you do like a little bit of foam rolling post your workout, that
Not before the workout,
not
right?
before the workout,
Yeah.
post your workout always. I
Why?
mean,
I think people need to know this. Why it's so important not to do stretching. Mainly, I mean, like stretching, holding the muscle for 10 seconds, right? Not dynamic stretching where you're moving around and stuff.
yeah,
So,
dynamic stretching before workouts is good to an
yes.
extent, but if you're doing static stretching before workouts, like I mean, the whole point is to warm up that muscle, right, to promote blood flow. But if you're doing static stretches, you you're just pulling that muscle and you're holding it there. I mean, that's not going to warm you up, at least from what I know.
Yeah.
So that's why I usually stick to stretches at the end of my workout, like after I'm done. So whatever muscle knots or whatever the tone muscle there is, so I stretch it out. I promote some blood flow, because the more amount of blood flow you have, the better you recover after your sessions, right? So that's why I stick to foam rolling and stretches after my workouts.
Is it like a full body stretch that you follow, or would it be specific to what muscle is sore? How exactly do you target your stretches?
So since I also run during the day, I usually do a full body stretch. But let's say if I have only like a leg day, I would focus a little bit more on my lower body.
Okay, got it. Awesome. So I think that's some great insight that we have gotten on hybrid training from you, right? And we have covered a lot of important points, like the journey, the nutrition aspect of things, the workouts that you follow, as well as the rest and recovery. And I'm sure a lot of people will be surprised to hear the fact that you're not doing all the really cool ice baths,
Yeah.
the infrared saunas and all of that stuff. All you do is get a good night's sleep,
Yeah.
and you make sure you stretch, and you're still performing the way you do. Just to give some context to everyone, this person runs 8 kilometers a day. He does weight training, he does calisthenics, he also cycles 100 kilometers if he wants to, and still packs on this much muscle, right? And that is the best part about it. So I think one final message that I would want you to share with people watching this is, uh, for someone who's, especially since you came from a background of being a cyclist, right? For someone who's a cyclist or a runner professionally, or just does it for fun but is skinny, what would be your message to them? And what do you feel they should incorporate to bring a change in their lives? Because of course it's the fact that it's not just about how you look, but also if you're running and you're cycling with less amount of muscle, it could cause problems like osteoporosis, it could cause arthritis, a lot of bone damage and joint problems later on in life. So what would be a message from your side to them?
I think for any like cyclist, runner, I think you should hit the gym. You should, focus on building strength, building muscle, because that also ensures that you are able to perform well at your own sport. Because with runners, you have a lot of these knee issues, right? So you in the gym is where you get to fix all of that. When you're lifting, right? When you're doing, even when you do running specific work in the gym, you're ensuring that you're sustaining yourself in that sport in a healthy way. You're not overdoing it. You're not gonna have tons of issues down the line. So to everyone who's skinny or who's been a runner, who's running or cycling, you should hit the gym. You should pack strength. You should build strength. You should pack on muscle. And yeah, looking good is just like, a good bonus. Like with
Yeah.
me, every other marathon I run without a shirt,
Yeah.
and I don't see a lot of people doing that. I don't feel bad about it, because I'm able to do it because I can.
Yeah, and you earned it, right? You put
Yeah.
in the work. It's not like you just got it.
So that's what, like, looking good is just like a bonus, like in terms of performance itself, lifting will just make you a better runner in
Yeah.
general, better runner or better cyclist.
Yeah. So let's try and make it a little easier for them. Can you give them steps? Now, see, they're just into running, for example, or they're just too skinny. So, can you give them steps like, say, hey, start with waking up at this time, hitting the gym these many times, having these many meals? Of course, like we are focusing on people who might be skinny and into running, or they play football or any other sport, or they are into cycling. So, what steps can they follow and stuff that would be doable for them, not too tough?
I think the first step they should do is, get a gym membership. And you get, I think the good thing about Bangalore or in India, and it's actually pretty affordable compared to outside.
Yeah.
Like outside
Even
is
though they still
very
complain.
it's very
Yeah.
expensive outside. And the whole like culture, like for when I've ever since I started coming to your gym, like I feel like the vibe is like really nice. Like I get to play my music whenever I
Yeah.
want to. I can roam without a shirt, and like
Yeah.
when people come and talk to you compared
Yes.
to the other gyms that I've been at before, like everyone just doing their own thing.
Yeah. It's like a
It's
community.
like a community thing. So you automatically, I think choosing the right gym also
Yes.
matters a lot,
Yeah.
because you go to a gym where people are, I don't know, judging you, or you
Yeah.
feel like they're judging you, you're not gonna want to go there, right?
Yeah.
So you should go to a gym where people are a little more friendly, maybe a
Yes.
little more involved.
Yeah. Where you
Just
feel like spending
yeah,
time.
where you feel like spending time. So I think that's very important. And second step would be, just start doing your basics like squats, deadlifts,
Yeah.
push-ups, pull-ups, your bench press. And if you're doing just these 5 exercises, right, you're actually pretty like sorted. You don't
Yeah.
have to do any like muscle specific work
Yeah.
unless you want to.
You just have to do it right. You
You
just
just
got
have
to
to do
learn
it
how to do
right.
it.
Yeah, and these are like the most basic yet the most rewarding exercises according to me. Because
Yes.
when I started, that's what I started with. And I just kept
Bench
on
press, squats,
deadlift,
deadlifts.
pull-ups, push-ups.
Okay. Nice.
That's it. These are like the basics, and anyone can do it.
Yeah.
So focus on that. So you're hitting like your full body, and start progressing on that. So that will, ensure that you're doing good in the gym, and that will also translate to your running or cycling.
You will get better at
You will get
that as
better
well.
at it.
Okay.
Not in terms of, okay, you're not going to run faster, but you will be able to run fast again and again and again.
Yeah.
Because that in endurance sports, right, it's not like a one hit wonder that works. It's someone who does it consistently. So gym will help you do it consistently.
Yes. Of course. Awesome. So I think that's some really good insight, and I think we're gonna definitely meet again to get some more insights from you as you progress on this journey. And Zeeshan is also getting ready for his full marathon, post which he's going to start training for the Ironman and a triathlon. So we are going to be very excited to track his journey going forward. And we hope to see you on this show again to share
For sure.
your experience and to also inspire others to do this. So, one more thing is that this is the first time that Zeeshan is doing it. It's not like he's been doing it his whole life. He's been training for it and now he's actually going to be doing it. So, did you never experience, anxiety or fear of doing something like this for the first time?
I think initially it did feel a little like I started feeling nervous. Okay, like because I'm not gonna be the best runner. Like say for example with the half marathon that I did, I know I'm not gonna be like one of the bests over there because yeah, I am a little heavier guy. I've put on a little muscle. That will act as a hurdle in a way. But then I also when I was running, right, I was looking at people around me and yeah, maybe they were running a little faster than me or whatever it is, but I mean, like, I got like 8 people who told me that, dude, like, your physique looks good. So
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, that's a win because
Yeah.
you to be able to look good
Yes.
and to be able to run at a decent pace,
Yeah.
that's a win for me,
Yeah.
right? So I'm not gonna sit and okay, I wasn't like the fastest runner, I wasn't like that great timing or whatever. Like the fact that I can look good while at the same time run at a decent pace, that's a win for me. So I think after that I started feeling like, I can just do it. I'm
Yeah.
doing no pressure. So if there's no pressure, there's no anxiety or nervousness.
Yeah. So you just gotta go at it
Just
with
go at
full
it.
confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't look back. Don't think about what others think. Right? Yeah. That of course makes a lot of sense. And it's the same, like a lot of people feel intimidated to go and hit the gym because there's all sorts of people, all strong people lifting weights, doing advanced level stuff, and they get intimidated. But it's all about just going there for yourself
Yeah.
and getting better at it. So that definitely makes a lot of sense. So thanks a lot,
You're
Zeeshan, for
welcome.
being here on this show, and we are definitely looking forward to seeing you again here. And yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. We are going to be coming up with a lot more stuff for you guys. Of course, this podcast had some great insights. Looking forward to a lot more, and we'll catch you next time.
Yes.